emboldened. That's one way to describe some of those January 6th rioters is they now bask in their recent pardons from President Trump. And now they are going after law enforcement, with the New York Times reporting Proud Boys members posting threats against Washington corrections officers. And to add insult to injury, Trump had this to say when he was asked if he'd allow those he pardoned to visit the White House.
I don't know. I'm sure that they probably would like to. I did something important, but what they did is they were protesting a crooked election. I mean, people understand that also. And they were treated very badly. Nobody's been treated like that. So I'd be open to it, certainly.
Unrepentant, both Donald Trump and the January 6th rioters, about what happened on that day.
He's creating his own militia. Let's be very clear about what this is. He's creating a group of thugs that will go out and do his bidding no matter what. And that's what happened on January 6th. And now he's emboldened them. And the problem for the rest of us is that there's no consequences for Donald Trump anymore, thanks to the Supreme Court. So you are now creating a situation where if you're a member of Congress and you cross Donald Trump, do you really want the Proud Boys coming after you? Because they're effectively pledging their loyalty to the man. That's what they're doing. And he knows it. And he's uplifting them. They're going around threatening cops. He doesn't care because they're doing something that he wants them to do.
I've seen some of
He
those.
doesn't care about the threatening cops.
They beat the crap out of cops that day.
I agree with you. And I'm not a fan, and I was on with Abby last week, or this week, I was not a fan of people being pardoned who took a fire extinguisher and hit a police officer. That, to me, that is not cool.
Which, by the way, Trump called the injuries that those cops sustained minor.
Okay.
Even though some of them have permanent injuries,
know,
some of them are not alive anymore.
I'm sorry. We do know Donald Trump has a long history of being very pro-law enforcement. He got more endorsements from every police union in the entire country than maybe any president of all time. So it's just disingenuous to say, oh, Donald Trump is cool with the Proud Boys beating up the cops. That's just
Of course he is.
On that one particular day for those that was a campaign promise.
You're better than this.
What you just said was he's okay with them doing it like
They just threatened cops. They literally today went out and threatened cops, and he's okay with it. He's gonna
How do you know he's okay with you talking?
He just said he's gonna invite us to the White House.
He just said he let him out there and he come hang out. He said he would be open to it.
Oh,
Donald
okay.
Trump was
All right.
endorsed by every police union in the United States of America.
By the way,
Okay, one at a time.
This is unenviable. Look, we can go back and forth about a lot of things. We can have a lot of conversations. This is so cut and dry. People storm the Capitol, beat up police officers, tase them. Trump said, I like you. Get out of jail. Then he said, come visit me in my house. He likes them. Okay, I agree with everything you just said. Okay, I don't believe that he's cool with them going out there and beating up on cops today in 2025. Only when they're beating up on cops on his behalf. It was a campaign promise. Period. Amen. And he got elected on that. Everyone knew he was going to do it. How about this? You finally got a politician who actually kept their campaign plans. Julie promised. Julie, you know he didn't hide it. You know he's campaigned on, I'm going to pardon them. He won the vote.
I think something like 70% of American voters do not support him pardoning.
But 53% voted for him to be president.
53%.
Yeah,
not
we do have the numbers. This is a recent AP poll. 21% favor pardoning these rioters.
So what's going to happen here? And there's a lot of truth, especially on this end of the table, on everything that's been said. But when we talked in focus groups in congressional races and Senate races, you're right. Folks knew that he was going to pardon them. Not all of them in most cases. We can split the hairs there or not. But the political implication is what's going to happen here. And the reason he did it on day one is he hopes people forget about it by the midterms. That's A. But B, whatever happens with these folks as they go, if they continue to be emboldened, if they run for Congress and keep talking about it, if they hurt another cop, if they do something else, it keeps them in the headlines and it helps a Democratic operative like me because I'll make an ad about that thing. Now, it's horrible that somebody has to get hurt or do whatever, but that's the real implications here. That's what he did on day one. And that's where most of the folks are like, oh, he's going to let the ones who didn't do that bad off the hook, but they'll do something
Okay,
else.
some of these guys were charged with organizing an armed militia on January 6th. They are now walking free. That's what Donald
And
Trump
I think
is doing.
that needs to be revisited. That needs to be
It's too
revisited.
late.
There's
They've
no
been pardoned.
question about it. Well, then, if they're truly making these threats, then they should be arrested and put back in prison again. I mean,
And
it's that
that's a
simple.
fair point.
It's
that
simple.
ship has,
No,
well,
no, no,
No,
If
it
they're
hasn't.
making
They're
new
making
arrests
new
and
threats.
they're
They're
no
making threats. Throw them back in
all
prison.
right, well, we will see what happens. Everyone stay with me. Coming up next, our panel gives us their nightcaps, Oscars edition. They're going to tell us what category should exist but doesn't. But first, Christopher Reeve went from playing an on-screen hero to becoming a symbol of hope. Follow his story in the CNN film Superman.